I mean, you are.
I'm okay.
I'm fine. Sure.
Personnel Subcommittee meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting to order. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Ms. Capola,
Present.
Ms. Gately,
Present.
Ms. Satterwhite.
Present.
Observing is Ms. Castellanos, Ms. Ford, and Mr. Nicholson.
Can everybody rise for pledge allegiance to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing on the agenda is Assistant Director of English Language Education. Oh, so I'm sorry, let me say it again. Assistant Director of English Learner Education. Yes.
With your permission, what I'd like to do or recommend this evening is that we provide, you just got a lot of stuff this afternoon, and I am prepared to share with you the rationale for each one of these positions, and just wanted to put out there that if you feel like you have your questions answered and we're in a concrete enough place for you to recommend to the whole committee, then fine. But we also, thank you. We also can engage now with questions and things of that nature, dive deep, and then we could schedule another personnel subcommittee before the meeting on the 27th. I know there's a budget hearing, but we've done the, budget hearing, and if someone shows, great. If someone doesn't, we can say subcommittee immediately following budget hearing to take up more conversation on this if need be. But just acknowledging that you got a whole bunch of stuff today, and I'm gonna walk you through that right now, if I may. And I'll start with the Assistant Director for English Learner Education. You'll recall from the budget presentation, I talked a little bit about, or more than a little bit about this position. The rationale is as follows. The addition of this position is driven in large part by Look Act requirements. Full Look Act implementation begins in the school year 1920. Toward that end, we feel really strongly that we have to build the capacity of the English Learner Education Office, and we propose to do so with the addition of an Assistant Director of English Learner Education. So if you just bear in mind that office, the English Learner Education Office, is responsible for leading all matters related to servicing our English learners, which now totals 4,300 students and about 3,000 more if you add the students who have exited identification. And right now, the English Learner Office is led by a team of 3 people. Among other duties, the professional in this role would be responsible for development, training, implementation, and monitoring of required English learner success templates for EL students not meeting benchmarks. This is a legally binding document that right now we believe once it goes live next year would need to happen for 1,500 English learners. development, training, implementation, and monitoring of required English learner progress reports to measure progress towards English language proficiency for all identified English learners, which again is 4,300 students. If you remember the Elevation, ELL Ovation, that program that we featured in the budget, that's the program that's where in that progress monitoring will be housed, and we really need someone who's going to lead. That's going to be a major lift next year and beyond, getting staff acquainted with how to read and understand the outputs from that, but also enter data into this mechanism. Supervision and evaluation is a pretty standard feature of administrators, but keep in mind that ESL staff has grown pretty exponentially over the years. We're now approaching 100. Expansion of EL programming would also be a responsibility for this professional. As you know, we plan to launch a two-way immersion program at Harrington for fall 2020. Right now, the capacity in the English Learner Office, I mean, they are so stretched thin. They need additional administrative support to focus on launching that successfully. And then, we talk about it often, and Rania has presented, I think, 2 or 3 times this year, the increased demand of DESE-required ESL and SEI curriculum development and enhancements to support English language development. I mean, that's pretty much a core responsibility of the English Learner Education Office, and we need to build on the capacity to make sure that that's happening effectively. And then I'd also like to add that this is not, to call this a new position would be a misnomer. This position existed previously in the Lynn administrator's contract prior to the existing agreement, which began in 2016 through, I assume, the negotiations process. There was a request to remove it because that position had been cut and had not been replaced, I think, for a number of years. Therein lies the danger of cutting positions out of the contract because you never know when you might need it again. So now I'm here asking for your support in rekindling the position.
Thank you.
Yes. Attorney
I just have a few questions. Do you happen to have the posting for the Director of English Learning Education so we can see this?
I do not, but it was built off, that posting was built off of the director position, but I can get you that. Okay. Certainly.
And considering the makeup of our students, I know that you said 4,300 are considered EL, and then there's about another 3,000 that are one step away from it. The ability to speak fluent Spanish is only preferred. I think that should be a requirement.
I mean, if the committee feels strongly, I don't disagree with you. I think, this is a thing that you run into with respect to, if someone has the experience, has the knowledge, deep understanding of English learner education, deep understanding of ESL, but does not speak Spanish, maybe speaks Haitian Creole, or maybe speaks...
Well, I know it would limit substantially the pool of talent.
Right.
So...
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would just be concerned if we found a really wonderful candidate, but couldn't entertain bringing that person aboard because they weren't fluent in Spanish.
Okay. And this position is going to require travel in the district, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do we normally put that in so they are aware that it's not just a central office position?
That's contractual, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin.
We've not normally put that in. Typically, all these positions, the administrative unit do travel at some point during the year. It's not like they're traveling every single day, and if they do travel, there's compensation in their contract for that.
Okay, and just to reiterate, I understand the need for this. We talk about the EL students and the support that they need. We also learned more about the Look Act just a couple months ago, so it's going to add a lot of mandates that need to be addressed. The 3 people that are currently in the department, is it the director and 2? What are the other positions?
Program specialists.
And besides, just those concerns, I don't see anything else in this that would be cause for concern for me. So I appreciate that.
Just a quick, maybe it's a moot point, but is it important to have the closing date on the application?
Yeah. Is there not one there?
July 18th.
Which one am I looking at then?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Okay, I have this one.
Can I?
The other one don't enter.
These are just drafts for your, would likely be what we move forward with, but all of these 3 of the positions would still need to be impact bargained with that union.
Yes, Attorney Nicholson.
Thank you. Just to follow up on Attorney Satterwhite's point about the language ability, I think the same thing sort of popped out at me when I was looking at it. In other positions, we've put strongly preferred as opposed to preferred.
Sure.
Was one way to do it. The other thing is we while the plurality of students are speaking Spanish as their second language, we obviously have many languages in the district. So we might even consider saying a second language in addition to English, something like that. Because if you had someone
Multi.
that spoke Cambodian or whatever it was, or Khmer, that would be helpful.
I'm assuming the director doesn't speak Spanish?
A little bit.
Okay.
Who's the director?
Rania.
Any questions at the
Rania.
table on
Yeah.
this?
Greek, however.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's an ESL student herself.
All right, so 9, assisting in writing federal grants, the entitlement and competitive, that will improve the quality of instruction and education. That will be part of their responsibility. Okay, and implementing it. The other question I had, responsible for the implementation of the school committee policies and regulation. Aren't all of them supposed to be implementing? So
It should
is
be a
that really-
standard.
Yeah, that
yeah.
should be standard.
Yep.
Okay.
Or we could remove it and it's like that's understood. But that was frankly, it was on the director posting, so I just left.
Okay, so we can leave that in.
Ms. Gailey, you still have more questions?
Not really. I'm trying to still process
Okay,
this.
maybe come back to you. Yeah, Mr. Castellanos.
So, thank you so much for your explanation. So, just to let you know, 9 and 22 are repeats, so it's in the draft. You want to remove one of those.
Yeah.
And for the salary, was that generated through median through the state, or was that something that
Factual.
contractual? So that's the okay. And for the most part, definitely, I do echo an agreement with my colleagues on the have a second language preferred. Because it's always a plus, but I also agree you don't want to cut off that in the radius, because if you do have someone that's a really competitive candidate, we don't want to lose out on that as well, because we're looking for talent and sometimes you have to make adjustments. But if you're a learner, I think you can always make something happen, right?
Sure.
Do you have any questions?
Myself? Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little overboard here, but I feel as though not only just to be fluent in speaking something, but at least be able to write and read it also, which I think, number one, has 3 years of successful teaching experience with English learners. I would think that anybody who came into that may have those.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's
Should be 5.
Seems like the way to go,
I don't disagree.
yeah.
Yep.
But still, I'm okay with strongly preferred.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think that
Yeah.
if we're looking at candidates, I think we should also be looking that they are able to, in that kind of position,
Yeah.
position that's almost $100,000, should definitely be,
Yeah.
have that skill.
So did you say you want more than 3 years? Is that?
No, although normally on that first line, it's usually 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised that it's 3. I don't know, is that a direction we're going in now, or
No?
do you think that 5?
Sure.
At least
Matter of fact,
5.
I think you need that for, in the new regulations, I think you need that for supervisor certification.
with most of our
Yeah.
postings.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But what I had suggested is instead ability to speak, also to write and read.
Ability to speak, write, and write and read. Okay.
Strongly preferred, having strongly preferred on it is fine.
What did you? I'm adding the additions
Okay.
to mine so we can.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Gately.
Usually in the past, you would hire up like 3 years or 5 years of successful teaching experience with English learners. It would have a larger, I'm trying to think of the word, larger commitment, like a department head or somebody like that should be applying for this job, or the equivalent of a department head, like Rania was in charge of that in her school at Thurgood Marshall, I believe. So I would like to see something, I don't know how I would word it, if someone could help me
Number
out.
7 alert?
Oh, no, number,
7 in the qualifications?
Administrative or supervisory
Yeah,
experience.
that might speak to it.
okay. All right, that's good. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Attorney Satterwhite.
I just want to make a motion. Can
Can I just say
Of
one more
course,
thing? I just was questioning when you talked about what's coming ahead of us as progress reports and progress monitoring. Where in here would that fall? Should that be an added duty to make it very clear, or will it fall under one of those duties?
It's generally under number 2. Assist with all elements of compliance with and implementation of the Look Act.
Okay.
But happy to add specific
I wouldn't,
duties of,
where you put that out there that we're expecting that person, I would hate to have us hire that person, have that person say.
What's the word
That
you're
was-
looking for?
Dr. Tatwala had mentioned that, coming down is pretty soon, we're gonna have to do progress reports on those students and also progress monitoring.
Yeah.
Is it 25? Collect, analyze, and interpret student achievement data.
No. What, if I may, I think
Yeah.
Mrs. Coppola is referring to is, it's new. These are new requirements, and
So would it be still collect, analyze, and interpret student achievement data for English learning for progress reports? Can we use something similar to that and just say for progress reports?
I would just
Just add progress in on the.
tweak it. Sure.
Yep.
And that's the word they're using, progress reports? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
One question that just made me think of. Did you mention last time that we had already selected the new data system that we're going to be using?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that people have experience in that would be an helpful qualification? Like, how for positions using certain software, like the finance position specializes, that we'd like to see somebody with Munis? Or is it early in the adoption so people wouldn't have?
I think it would be too early. You're not going to find a lot of people who've had a lot, because it's not,
Yeah.
All
All
of
right.
these-
yeah, the
all of
requirements
these
are new.
requirements are so new.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not a program that's like overly difficult to use. It's a pretty user-friendly program,
Okay.
similar to the way Easy IEP was and our student data system that we use. They're pretty easy systems to learn how to use, and training comes with it.
Great, that makes sense. Thank you.
And just jumping off of that, should we, I know that we have proven ability to train professional staff, but this person should also have the ability or the desire to learn as well, because we're talking about new things coming through the pipeline. We don't want someone that is just, so it's just the way that they've done it, they're not
Yep.
willing to change. So I don't know.
I mean, I think on the wording of that, but I think I understand what you're saying to mean some sort of reflection of a continuous, willingness to learn and develop and grow. Something that
Remains up to date on,
stays present. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
educational advancement
Stays current.
in this area.
Yeah.
Okay, there any other questions or suggestions? Is this something that, you want to have them clean it up and then present next week to us, just in the very quick subcommittee that Dr. Totweiler was talking about, or is everybody comfortable to move forward and move it to the full committee?
For this one, I don't have issues, but with the minor changes. But if we want to come back, that's fine. I know that it's almost July already, and these things, a week can make a difference. You know what I mean? But it's really up to Lorraine.
I'd like
you.
to see it cleaned up. And then I can just vote on it really quickly if it's.
We wouldn't be able to vote on it, I don't believe, that same day.
Okay, Attorney Myhouse, if we had another subcommittee next week after the public hearing, thank you, but before our full committee, if we had that,
As long as it was a formal meeting.
yeah, we'd make it a subcommittee and then have it on the agenda following it on the regular meeting. That would be okay. Okay.
That all the time.
Okay, that's fine.
So what we would do is we would vote on it, and then it would be on the agenda that we're voting on it.
All on the same night.
Accept the actions of the subcommittee. We do that all the time.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to say, make a motion to table this, or do I make a motion to have you make these edits and then bring it back to us next week?
And put it on the agenda.
Either way.
Okay, I make a motion for Dr. Tutwiler or someone within the administration to make the suggested changes to the posting for Assistant Director of English Learning Education, with changes to paragraph 1 of qualification to 5 years of successful teaching experience. Within that same category, paragraph 4, ability to speak, write, and read fluent Spanish is strongly preferred. And add in a paragraph 10 with a feel of something like continuous willingness to stay current and up to date on this area of education. Another change would be within the duties and responsibilities. Paragraph 23 would be deleted as it's repetitive.
22?
22.
22.
I'm sorry, 22. I think 22, they're both repetitive. Is the number 11 the same as 23?
9 and 11, 9 and 22.
Oh, I think you're right. I think 11 and 23 are duplicates also.
So the removal of paragraphs 23 and 22 and 23. Obviously changing paragraph 24, 25, 26, 27 to make the numbers go in order. And one change to paragraph 25 where we're going to add in after the word including progress reports and then continue on with MCAS and access.
Okay, is that?
Yeah,
okay?
I got it.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Capola?
Yes.
Ms. Gately?
Yes.
Satterwhite?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to B, Assistant Director of Social Emotional Learning.
So I think the posting was emailed to you, and then I'm going to reference,
letter?
yes, that document in just a moment here. So here we are in effect changing the title of Program Specialist for Parent and Family Engagement to that of Assistant Director for Social and Emotional Learning. By way of brief history, the position of Program Specialist for Parent and Family Engagement was established in 2015. In 2014, the district had made an enormous commitment to hiring multiple social workers across the district. The hiring of a team of social workers and also a driving need to provide the district direction with respect to student support and parent and family engagement really prompted the need for this administrative position. The creation of the administrative position of Program Specialist for Parent and Family Engagement, along with the hiring of multiple social workers, really marked the beginning of a concerted district focus on social and emotional learning. The reality is that the job was incorrectly classified at its inception. The job should have been posted as an assistant director. The current responsibilities of the Program Specialist for Parent and Family Engagement mirror the other positions within the curriculum department that are all assistant director positions. Within the curriculum department, there are 11 assistant directors. What separates jobs within this department is the content focus, math, ELA, science, and so forth. Student support and parent and family engagement is its own content. To demonstrate how the job responsibilities are alike, we've provided for you, and that's the other document, the job descriptions of 3 assistant directors and highlighted how the program specialist for parent and family engagement is expected to carry out the same tasks, but as they relate to the specific content of student support, parent and family engagement, and social and emotional learning. The 3 assistant director positions are humanities, data assessment and curriculum integration, and early childhood. The job responsibility in red is that of the program specialist for parent and family engagement and is meant to highlight the similar job tasks and expectations and demonstrate how the jobs mirror one another. All of the assistant director job descriptions have the common themes that translate into like job responsibilities. These same job responsibilities are performed by the program specialist for parent and family engagement. The plan here is to highlight the most common descriptions found in the postings. As you can see, everything from supervise the selection of materials to make sure that the resource selection is research-based and standards-focused to providing leadership with respect to district-wide programs and initiatives is an assistant director responsibility and also a program specialist for parent and family engagement responsibility. Respectfully, it was an error in judgment when the job was conceived, classifying the position as that of a program specialist. The expectations of the job have always mimicked and mirrored the responsibilities of the assistant directors within the curriculum department. To be clear, the base pay according to the contract, for the program specialist for parent and family engagement is $86,499. The base pay for the assistant directors of curriculum and instruction is $92,760. The differential is $6,261. What was not presented in the budget presentation, and if you went and looked in the tabs under curriculum or went and looked under social and emotional learning, you would not have seen a position posted for Assistant Director of Social and Emotional Learning. That is my mistake. Conceptually, we'd be closing the program specialist for parent and family engagement and reposting it appropriately as Assistant Director for Social and Emotional Learning, thus the difference of the $6,200.
Oh, I'm sorry. Attorney Sarah, yeah.
Going back to when Tom was our secretary, I've mention the issue that we're listing in our disclaimer about there's no such law as Chapter 39, Section 33B. The open meeting law is 30A. So I get embarrassed when I see job postings that quote this because I'm a lawyer. We have multiple lawyers around the table, and when we are referencing something wrong after it's been brought to the district's attention, it's frustrating because I think I even brought it up just a couple months ago in one of the postings. Whatever the template is, just update it. But it says applicants should be reminded that in accordance with the general laws, Chapter 39, Section 33B, if someone went there, it's not going to be there. It doesn't
Duly
exist. I'm going to continue on with. I love the fact that we're dealing directly with what our district needs because of the uniqueness behind our district, and our students deal with trauma. I hear from parents on a daily basis about how trauma has impacted their child or a friend of their child and how that impacts their ability to learn. So social emotional learning is extremely important, and either way, I think that the positions are similar, and the person that is doing the job should be compensated and receive the title that they're doing. I do want to emphasize, I do like and within qualifications, paragraph 7, the proven ability to collaborate with many stakeholders. I feel as though that needs to be emphasized. That I also believe that this role should be a role that we're seeking additional stakeholders to help to respond to the needs of families. Do you know what I mean? We have a diverse population in our schools, and each student might need something different. I know that when we went to Ingalls for the declaration about mental health, we went and we toured John and I, and one of the things, Lynn Community Health had a lady there that literally would get a student anything they needed. Sure. If they come in there hungry, we're going to find them a food bank. If they come in any clothes, we're going to find them clothes. Like, that's a great role for that person to have, but that's not from our aspect. But that person went out and found stakeholders, and it'd be great if we just spoke to each other, communicated with each other, and if this person knew that they have the ability to do that, and it's expected, that would be great, because there are many people that want to help. And I feel as though just the ability to collaborate with stakeholders is I don't think it's expressive enough of what we need in order to give, not necessarily give, but connect these families with resources that they need in order to help the kid. So I appreciate that part. Sorry. And I know that we just met last week, and we did speak about just certain preferences that teachers have with regards to the software that we use. And we want them to be proficient in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. There's nothing else that this person would need to be proficient with. Is there any special software that we use with SEL? Is this a position that uses any Google product or anything else like that?
Through the attendance initiative, heavy Excel use. But we're actually migrating that into our student management system, so there'll be less so. Honestly, I mean, in this day and age, even having to put that there.
Yeah.
I mean, the expectation is that folks can navigate, in general, the major Microsoft applications, but and up to date, there's been heavy, and I think I'm okay at Excel, but the level of expertise and the depth that they went in terms of creating the trackers, you needed some expertise.
Well, many software products they're based off of Excel, just with an interface. So it's a great tool.
Sure.
And it's something that I had to get used to as well. Okay. Everything else, it sounds pretty standard and similar to what we had for the SEL director.
Yes.
This is the one that's missing the closing date.
Oh, okay.
It just says noon.
Noon on a date to be determined. Yeah.
Noon.
Mr. Castellanos?
Thank you so much. I feel like this position, I think having language, I think that's an important piece to add in the qualifications. I think it's important to kind of add that initial component. I think as a candidate, I think bringing in a secondary language is important. And it's not in there right now, so I would like to see something added to one of those line items. If you look at the salary, would hopefully, it's definitely something that I think a candidate should have, getting paid that much. Also, the performance and responsibilities, you guys were actually it was well thought out. It was very well thought out, and it sounds like you guys were inclusive with the social workers. Did you guys work with the school social workers on this to develop the language? You did? Okay, so great job, because as I'm reading the language, it sounds like
helps out
it really did. It's really great to see that. And I can, as a social worker myself, it's really great to
BSW.
yeah, I can see the well thought out language. Yeah, that's really all I had. Thank you.
That language requirement will be the same as the other one, preferred.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, what I'm hearing from you, and I don't disagree, is for, and not just administrative positions, but positions of this caliber, adding all the read, speak, and write another language, the strong preference for that. That's what I'm hearing. So I was going to just take the same one from the previous.
Donna?
Okay, yep, sorry.
That's
Escape.
okay. So on 12, I would like to see Google added in there, because I think we will probably get a larger pool of people proficient in Microsoft application of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Google, because we'll get more applicants, because I just feel like a lot of people know Google, and that they could understand this, but we would get a bigger pool of people by adding Google.
Attorney Nicholson?
Thank you. So I just had a question on the kind of the scope of the background experience. I pulled the director job posting, and I think that one was a little broader in how we thought about the positioning. So you could have been a school psychologist, school guidance counselor, school adjustment counselor, school clinical director, or a social worker, whereas this is specifically social work.
Yep.
What's the sort of thinking for that?
Well, this position, to hold this position, you have to hold the highest level of licensure that there is for a social worker, which is an LICSW. LICSWs clinically are extremely well trained. They can bill insurance companies. I mean, there's an incredible focus here on clinical skills within this position.
Okay. But are school psychologists, do they have the clinical skills that would?
They could. It's not this. They really do a different job.
Okay. So what was it about the executive director that you could have a broader applicant pool that had different sort of functions as backgrounds, whereas this is going to be narrowed to just the social worker?
Go ahead, Ken.
I mean,
and I'll jump in right after.
Primary responsibility of this job is the supervision of our clinicians across the district. She supervises and evaluates all of the social workers. So you want somebody with that level of licensure. So, for example, if we hire a social worker and they're looking to move their level of licensure, they have to be supervised and evaluated by somebody who holds an LICSW. You understand that, right, Brian?
I do.
And if I may, I mean, I
Used to it.
did not have a heavy hand in developing the posting for the executive director, but The way we're the way that position is working now is that it goes beyond, you know, the realm of social workers and, you know, tight partnership with special education, tight partnership with curriculum around looking, you know, what's the lens when you're choosing curriculum as it relates to social and emotional learning. And so there you can have a little bit broader background because there's a lot of liaising with other departments and, you know, beyond, you know, the social work realm.
Their executive director holds an LICSW. She's an LICSW, although she didn't have to have that for the posting. I think we really honed in on this position, that it's truly a social work-driven position around leading that group.
Got it. Okay, that's helpful. And I assume this is similar. The executive director had some broader qualifications around designing curriculum and in-depth knowledge of SEL research and evaluation. Yeah, so that's what the executive director is more focused on, whereas the assistant director is more focused on the social work. Okay, yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Other questions at the table? Yes, Ms. Gately.
I just need some clarification. Tina Hufenagel, what's her role?
She's the program specialist for parent and family engagement.
Okay. And then we have Carolyn Troy.
Who's the executive director of social and emotional learning.
Okay, so this person would work under Carolyn or work over in curriculum?
Under Carolyn.
Under Carolyn, okay. Thank you.
And we would close that. So that position for the past, 4 or 5 years has been the only position really in this entire building and central office. The program specialist for parent and family engagement that focused on social and emotional learning. With the hire of the executive director, we're now building that team, but also naming that the work that the program specialist for parent and family engagement has been doing has been assistant director work from the very beginning.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So is someone in this role already as this program? Okay. So
in the role of program specialist.
But we're eliminating that position.
That's correct.
And so this person would have to reapply.
Yes, that person would.
And Carolyn, you said, has her LICSW? Okay. So it's not like this person's going to be more qualified than her because, okay, because that was my worry when I was listening to Jarrett, because it was very broad with regards to what background you need, qualifications. So it's not like someone's going to come in and, because she couldn't do that work because she didn't have that qualification. She has that qualification.
She does.
Okay. You just answered those questions. Okay.
Okay, do we have somebody else at the table with any questions? I have just one that, okay, so it has would it have to go, I'm asking Attorney Myhouse, would that have to go to the Administrators Association? Because they're eliminating a job in the Administrators Association, Program Specialist for Parent Family Engagement, and they're creating a new one.
Any new job posting has to go for negotiation before the union. Right, so that's your answer. Doesn't make any difference. If it's a new job,
Right.
it's not part of the early.
Okay, it's a new one. Now, to have this replace that, is that going to be tricky?
Well, you don't know until you negotiate with the
Okay.
union.
Okay, and we haven't approached them yet, obviously, until a decision has been made. Okay, on number 10, my colleague, Mr. Castellanos, usually asks all these things about the grants, but I would like to say collaborate in pursuing and writing of grants. Pursuing, to me, I think we've been wanting at the committee, to see more grants pursued. So I'm wondering about that. And it's a little different from the other one. The other assistant and the one we just did was talking about federal grants and things like that. Is is this no federal grants available, or?
Well, in the assistant director for English learner education, you do have federal. You've got Title III, and so that person would be assisting the director in
Okay.
writing and then monitoring and.
So
things
this,
with data
this could be a
collection for
little
that.
bit different. Are you
There's
objecting, would you object to, the word pursuing
Not at
in
all.
there?
Not
In
at all.
writing, only because, not just have somebody drop it on their desk to write, but also to be on the lookout for it.
Totally okay by that.
Okay, so,
One more.
oh, yes. Ms. Gay.
So you just made me think of something on collaborating, writing the grants, pursuing them. Could we make sure we look at DESI, the website, and look for those grants and actively seek grants for this district? I'll tell you why at another time, but I would just like to make sure that we're looking at not just federal, but we're also looking at DESI.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Castellano.
So just a question. So when we do have like internships, co-ops, is this the position that's going to be overseeing the clinical team? Who obviously, because when you do a co-op or an internship, you got to get your hours. So I'm a licensed social worker. I had to get hours. I had to get an internship. Who is going to be the individual doing that for
Both Carolyn and Tina have been doing that. They currently do that. So in this year, Dr. Tutwiler reported out at our last meeting, I think there were 12 social work interns, which 12 of the social workers that Tina supervises had interns, and she oversaw that with the social workers.
Yes.
I
Ms.
think
Gay?
Jarrett was next.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions, Ed?
Nope.
Okay, do you want to make a motion with those just
Sure.
very few corrections we have?
I make a motion to have the administration and the superintendent make some edits to the post for Assistant Director of SEL for Student Support and Family Community Engagement. First is under qualifications, paragraph 12, add in after PowerPoint and Google products. Add in paragraph 13, secondary language is strongly preferred. And under performance responsibilities, paragraph number 10 will be changed to collaborate and actively pursuing and writing of grants and the management of budgets. And on the template for disclosures, add in a proper closing date for the application, which if it's like the other one would be somewhere around July 18th. And reference in the proper general laws, which would be under 30A, not Chapter 39, Section 33B.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Capola?
Yes.
Ms. Gately?
Yes.
Edward?
Yes.
Okay, next one, C. We all set with that? No, that's okay. Program specialist, special education, out of district.
So if you'll recall from the budget presentation, I did speak to the need for this position. The rationale is as follows. The current model for servicing the needs for the 183 students and 45 out-of-district placements is insufficient. From a philosophy value standpoint, we believe that the shift to increased hours during the day and the year-round feature will allow us to better serve students in out-of-district placements, develop more meaningful relationships with out-of-district service providers, and more effectively monitor and service student needs during the summer months. What is more, a significant responsibility in the purview of out-of-district personnel involves decisions on the budget as it pertains to placement. Budget decisions are outside of the realm of the traditional chairperson. In concept, we believe that an investment in this position will in fact result in savings for the district. This shift to an administrative role will include more responsibility around understanding the nature of student needs serviced in out-of-district placements and strategizing with the Director of Special Education to maximize on existing programs where appropriate and create additional programs where possible, all in service of educating students in their community. The position title reflects the exclusive focus of the work out of district. Typically, program specialist postings are somewhat general. However, there is a precedent for specific program specialist postings in special education. For example, the program specialist for special education coach was posted as such and features an exclusive focus on the work in that sector of special education. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Just to be sure that this is going to be a proper posting, because we just had the discussion about the Assistant Director of Social Emotional Learning when that was a program position beforehand. It looks like there's supervision for teachers that work in specialized populations. And a few other paragraphs here that look like it may be somewhat of a supervisory role. Is that fine?
Is that
all right for it to be within the program?
Yeah, and and there was some thought about this. And conceptually, this position is not really designed to be a supervisory position. It's designed to be an administrative position in form and function, but not necessarily a supervisory one. We left that feature in there in the event that we made a decision that, it was necessary and appropriate for people in that role to maybe evaluate an in-district chairperson or some other personnel that they, it would make sense for them to evaluate. So we didn't want to take it out and say that's not there and then have to impact bargain to get it back in.
I hear
if the need arose.
And I know that I'm jumping ahead, but you have some program specialists for other positions within the district that have 13 qualifications, but this program specialist for special ed only has 5. So there's things like this program specialist has to have a certification as an administrator or a principal, assistant principal willing to enroll in an accredited certification program. This one doesn't. Is it because it's a district position?
The other ones are school positions where we usually use those positions to train future principals. Program specialists in schools are really looking to move
to become principals.
But wouldn't you want to make sure that this person has some, at least? Well, I know that they're getting they have to have a certification in special education. Is that all you? Is that really all you need?
Deep knowledge around special education is really the foundation for this position. It is not a building leadership position. It is not. It does not reflect the same reality as a building-based program specialist. What I just described in that, and what I read, really describes the nature of the work we're intending for this person to engage.
And I get it because I practice special education a lot. Yeah, I understand that there's some certain accommodations that we're not going to be able to afford in our district because we don't have the ability to. Mm-hmm. So I understand the thought process behind it. I just want to make sure that whatever candidate that we pick for this position understands special education, and you even said it. The reason why we're hiring so many people in this area is because we have a challenge there. It's a huge challenge. So I don't want to lose that sight. So what I do like in the qualifications of the building one is and this is I think what we wanted to put in the other one, but I didn't say it. The willingness to self-reflect and to grow professionally. That is that's a spot-on qualification I'd like to have this person have. And we also need someone, it doesn't say this, but data is very important. And this number 10 and the building-wise one is proven ability to work with all types of data. So I think that's an important thing, because we're going to be dealing with data in this position, because it's still special education, and there's still students that are going out of district. There's data that we still need to compile and work with. So if we can add those two qualifications to the 5 that we have here, I'll be happy with that. And as long as you're comfortable with this not really being an assistant position or and really a program specialist, I don't mind. Everything else is decent for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
So I actually get to work out of district. I have the personal on the ground experience. We do. There's a lot of work being done. A lot of good work. A lot of success. I have a picture on here with a young man who was out of district, who graduated at Frechtel Larry. I've seen the work. I've seen also the challenges that district faces with an overload. When we look at IEP pipeline, it's very congested. It's very difficult to manage. And there's a lot of collaboration with other stakeholders. There's a lot of individuals at the table. I like the ad. This is from the previous position. It was the proven ability to collaborate with many stakeholders and respond to the needs of families from diverse and culture backgrounds. Because I think there's a lot of that happening as well.
Where's that?
This is this is on the previous job posting, but it was a qualification that I feel is very relevant, especially with this out of district place, because you're dealing with DYS, DCF, state. So there's so many different stakeholders at the table that really, if you don't have experience like having those conversations with them, it's very crucial when we're talking about equity, because I think this individual needs to be very tailored in having those conversations, understanding the laws that are in place in those different environments, especially when you get kids who do reach out of district placement, on why that happens. And out of district placement is very expensive, to have large costs to the Commonwealth, to the city, and it's very important to really have a really cautious lens, and especially when it comes to the stakeholders involved, because if you don't understand how to negotiate and work around these systems, it can get very complicated, and in the long run, the product is not happening. This kid's dropping out, and there's just no equity is achieved. So I think it's really important to really have that ability to collaborate, to understand that complexity. And it's definitely, I understand the scope is broad in qualifications, but I do think 5 years is pretty good, a successful experience in the field of special ed. I think that is a good, I think it's 5 years. Was that something that you guys, studied, researched? Like, is 5 years the standard for this position?
Typically, 5 years is.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Gately?
Patrick, do we really want to call this a program specialist? We do, because like the qualifications of the other programs specialist postings were much different. So I guess I would like to see, if they're going out of district and they're going to other districts, I would like to see that they have strong communication skills. They have ability to speak multi-language, read and write in that language. That's all for now.
If I just can chime in, Donna?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Do you believe that in this position, what would you say of the students that receive the special education or IEPs or whatever this position would impact? Would you say that there's a huge population that are Hispanic or speak the Spanish language?
I don't know the racial demographics or the linguistic demographics offhand. I mean, that's something I could get for you. But I embrace wholeheartedly the idea that the ability to, communicate seamlessly with families, in another language is important. So I would be perfectly okay putting that on there as a preference, much like we did in the others.
Okay.
Anybody
I-
else, Dan? Yes, Mr.
This is just a question. It seems like a real thrust of this role will be managing the out-of-district placements, and with the goal of being able to offer more in-district. And I think that comes through in the performance responsibilities. Is there, do you think there's any advantage to saying that it would be preferred in the qualifications to have somebody who has, successfully done this in the past, or to try to sort of elevate that part of the role so that if I work in special education and I'm flipping through postings, I see at the top, this is me. I've done this before. This would be a great fit for me.
What is it, Jared?
Yeah. In the adding a qualification about having a preference for experience in
Creating in-district
Yeah.
service.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
Yep.
Creating and implementing
In-district programs
district programs.
for students previously serviced in out-of-district placements. I think that would.
Yeah.
Okay. Donna, do you have questions?
I do.
Okay.
I think I kind of agree with Lorraine that some of those under program specialists, starting on, some of those maybe 6 and below that are on those others, really should be on job qualifications. Like we have nothing about, Microsoft application, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and adding Google now. But some of the other stuff there should be on there. I mean, I think definitely if someone picks that up and they say, I don't have really good computer skills, but it doesn't say I have to, it could be a problem, So I think we should get consistent with the qualifications across the board, but we don't have any of those other program specialists for special ed, like the coach in front of us. So I don't know what was under that, but there may be some things under that. So we want to make it that it's, kind of aligned a little bit.
Sure.
The other thing, when you were talking about language, I would assume that there's quite a few kids that are maybe on outside of placements in some of our areas that may use sign language. So we may want to use that as one of our other languages or just as a suggestion. I'm strongly suggest, but I'm not saying it has to be mandatory. Okay. I do have, well, first of all, I want to say that I think this job is extremely important. There are kids in outside placements that families don't really want them to be there. And they want to be here in the Lynn Public Schools, and we don't have the programs for us. And if we don't go out to those programs and really study those programs and learn about those programs, we are never going to be able to create them here in our school system and give those kids the opportunity to come into our Lynn Public Schools and be part of our community.
Agreed.
So I highly, highly endorse this, absolutely 100%. I always could never understand, how kids went to outside placements and we never really checked on them. And it was really disheartening because as far as I would ask, does anybody even know if that child is progressing? And other than sitting in an IEP or a 3-year evaluation. 3-year evaluation is an awful long time for a child in an outside placement to get lost. And it's concerning, okay? But on the other note, I have a problem with number 13 maybe. It says provide supervision and direction of those teachers working with a specialized now this person is going to be working in all of these outside of placements. I don't think that they have the right to go in there and evaluate the teachers that are working in those outside of placements. I mean, that's what the title of this job is. It's going to be out of district. Out of district. So what are you considering?
Yeah.
You're not calling Fecht O'Leary out of district.
No.
No.
So here there just needs to be some language added. So if we're going to do exactly what you just described, where these professionals are working with families, they're in out of district placements, and they're uncovering or working to create in district placements or programs. We think they should have a hand in sort of the development and supervision
of the teachers in the outside
maybe
placement?
in the launch. Yeah, we just didn't want to eliminate so much that down the road we
I
decide
get that, but I think that when you're looking at something like that, to me it's like, okay, does that mean that they're going to be doing this person's going to be doing all of their work in out of district locations? I would hate to see all of a sudden, someone's behind in not supervising, or maybe supervising, but maybe evaluating some teachers in the coach program, for instance. And you say to this person, oh, okay, you're going to do some evaluation. Go up there and do it. How do you do that when you're not really, you have not really done the real observation and understanding of evaluating those teachers within our system?
Yep.
Because this person is going to be the out-of-district person.
So I understand and respect what you're saying 100%, and no intention at all. I mean, it's a big job, 183 kids, 45
Right.
placements.
Right.
The intention is not to stretch them so thin that the effectiveness then goes right out
We're
the window.
lost. We don't accomplish it. Yeah.
Right, but at the same time, respectfully, the more focused it is as time goes on, and you want to evolve, you have to go back and impact bargain to get those pieces back in, and it's not easy.
So, but I think what language we need to add is the supervision and direction would be for in-district teachers.
That's correct.
Okay, so
Yeah, they have no jurisdiction over.
and that's what Donna was saying, and then Donna wanted to make sure that this doesn't then make this job a multifaceted job, I guess, where it's a little bit of everybody else's job that they're doing now.
Dr. Tartwell, can I?
Please.
So when we had this conversation about this position and the supervision side of it, initially we were saying no supervision, and then I chimed in and said, in order for us to, we all are trying to build the capacity of our special education department, right? We're trying to build the capacity to support the students in our district. As we build that capacity, it means we're adding people. At some point, they're not going to have, the office is not going to have the capacity to supervise everyone. It's just going to get too big. And so to eliminate an administrator level position from any supervision is not smart in the end.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily eliminate it, but the other thing that it's just that, okay, now what you're saying is, okay, you're going to say to somebody, they're going to walk in and say, we got, 5 more days to evaluate 100 SPED teachers. Okay, so you're going to go out and you're going to...
It wouldn't be the SPED teachers, really. It really wouldn't
Who
be
would
the
they
SPED
be
teachers.
evaluating?
It would be positions like, other chair
chairs,
people.
yeah.
Okay, there's only 11 of them. You cut 2. So there's 11 of those. So you're...
Could be the head chairperson in a building.
Donna, will this work for you? Provide supervision and direction of those in-district teachers working with the previous out-of-district specialized population. So it's specific to the fact that the goal is to bring these kids into, and offer them the services. And so they're not going to be supervising anyone else that's not supervising the previous out-of-district students. Would that suffice, or would that help ease your concerns.
I don't know. I mean, something is better than
she's
just being a
concerned that
blanket
you're
like
spreading
that.
Yeah, and I
don't
think-
know
I understand what
if you
you're
want to
saying.
think
You're-
about
You're
it.
trying to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be
Gary?
fair to the employees. I don't
No, I-
want,
Of course.
at some point, somebody to have a problem.
And I think that language
Getting a
would help.
value by
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't know them, who's never, it's not fair.
So
You
the
know, and I'm
contract
just
won't allow
trying
that.
to
Won't
say.
allow that.
Yeah, there's
So you
the-
have to designate a primary, the primary evaluator is always
Always,
the
yeah.
principal in a building. And a supervising evaluator has to be designated at the beginning of the school year. It can't just be.
By, I think it's by October
Right,
1st.
so
or
that's a
15th.
very planned process,
Yeah.
guided by
You can't just give them
regulation.
someone in the middle of the year or at the end of the year.
If
You-
that could just be cleaned up a little, because as I read it, I'm thinking this out-of-district person's gonna go out into these 45 locations, and start telling them what to do.
Yeah, no,
And I am
that's not-
sure
And
that
that's
is
why I think the
we have no
language
place at
helps.
that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's not what
We
that
are
means.
just there to support the child and make sure that that ed plan is getting, followed
And
at
that we're
that place.
monitoring
And-
how the progress is
And
of those
progress is
students.
happening,
Right.
exactly.
This allows for a
exactly. So,
year-round
you know,
position that can monitor how the students are doing.
Absolutely. That's just how I feel about that, It's,
No, I understand where you're coming
and,
from.
and just to protect staff that won't feel like,
Sure.
this is an open
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
invitation to go and assess them, twice in a year or something and determine that, they're not doing the job.
Right. Agreed.
So that's it. Can you clean that up for us?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
if it's okay, I like what Attorney Satterwhite said. If you want to just repeat that.
Yeah, when I do the motion, I'm going to repeat
Okay,
everything.
Sure. John, do you have a question?
We just created another line item, I think it was 16, to create in-district programs for out-of-district placement. Is that similar to item 7? It can be combined to make, rather than add another?
Which one? I'm sorry?
Well, the numbering is
Added
off.
number
Numbering's
16.
off.
Yeah, that's one of the
the
things I was going to
numbering's
correct.
off.
That's the
But the
moving
top,
around,
the
yeah.
top paragraph here, John's
noticed.
saying, is the same as, which is paragraph 7, which is really 4.
Work with district.
Work with district team to provide appropriate programs for returning students from out-of-district placements or in partnership with the administrator of special educate, strategize to develop and enhance in-district programs to be currently outplaced. I would prefer,
Combine that with 16?
I would take this one, I would not
4.
use 7. I would use the other one because it's better, I
Okay,
think.
that's what I'm saying. They kind of duplication of effort, I think.
Can we align them too? I mean, I don't have it in front of us, but the other special ed program specialists?
Yeah,
get
can
some
I just speak to
alignment?
that really
Yeah.
quickly? So I do have the coach posting right here, and there are a number of qualifications, but they are very specific to working with students with autism. So I agree with you that there should be like a standard
Yeah.
set, around language, technology use, things of that nature. But if I looking at this one, and it's from 2010, the language piece is not there, the technology piece is
Donna,
not
if
there.
I can
Like, it's
just-
very specific to,
I think what we just created now is what we should
Could
be
be.
using for the future. And if you want me to go over what I have so you can hear it, Donna?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, I'll make the motion and we can, or do you want me to go over it first before the motion?
First.
Okay, so what has been discussed, and this is not a motion, is that we're going to keep the under qualifications, paragraph 1, Massachusetts certification in special education is required. The master's degree in education, I'm assuming, is required. 5 years of successful experience in the field of special education, knowledge of specialized support services in special education, knowledge of and experience with process and related services for out-of-district placements. 6 was what I talked about, which we're adding, is the willingness to self-reflect and to grow professionally. 7 would be the proven ability to work with all types of data related to the out-of-district student. 8 is the proven ability to collaborate with many stakeholders, as suggested by Brian and respond to the needs of the families from diverse backgrounds. 9 would be strong communication skills. 10 would be the ability to speak multiple languages, strongly preferred, including sign language. 11 would be the preference for experience with creating and implementing in-district programs for students previously served out of district. 12 would be proficient in Microsoft Office and everything else we said before. 13 is possess strong organization, time management, and project management skills. Now we're on to performance responsibilities. Paragraph 6 would be changed to paragraph 3. Paragraph 7 would be changed to paragraph 4. Paragraph 8 would be changed to paragraph 5. Sorry. Paragraph 4 would be eliminated. And paragraph 9 would be paragraph 5, and we would use the words work with the district team in partnership with the administrator of special education to strategize, to develop, or enhance in-district programs to meet students' needs who are currently out of district. Do we want to say outplaced? Does that make a difference?
Placed out of district.
Number 9 and number 4 are two different things.
Are they?
Yeah. Number 4, work with the district team to provide appropriate programs for returning students. Number 9 is about I can see. Never mind. I can see how you can see the redundancy there. I would recommend getting rid of 4. The new number 4.
Okay. So did you get the language? Or do you want me to repeat it?
I'm going to need your notes.
That's okay. And then the next paragraph 10 will be actually paragraph 6. Paragraph 11 will be paragraph 7. Paragraph 12 will be paragraph 8. Paragraph 8 will be paragraph 9. Paragraph 9 will be paragraph 10. Paragraph 10 will be paragraph 11. Paragraph 11 will be paragraph 12. Paragraph 13 will be 13 and will stay the same, but it's going to be provide supervision and direction of those in-district teachers working with the previously out-of-district specialized population, including all teachers working with autistic students, mentally fragile students, and cognitively challenged students within the system. And then 15 will be 14, and it stays the same. And then we're going to add a 15, which is, it's not in here, but it should be monitoring the out-of-district student progress. I didn't see that in there.
I thought that was going to be.
And I think, yeah, someone said that. I think it was you.
No, it says create in-district programs for out-of-district placement.
That's one of the things that we have.
I did say it to you.
One of you said monitoring the out-of-district student progress. Wouldn't that be part of the job title?
Big part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I put.
I mean, I think that's number 1, but I'm happy to add that specific language. To coordinate all special education delivery services for students in out-of-district placements during the school year and summer months.
So
I mean, that's a piece of that.
we can
but
do
I add perhaps
coordinate and monitor.
more. Sure.
Okay, yeah.
And then we won't need to add.
15.
Are we in agreement with that? You want me to put it in the motion form now?
Yep.
Okay, I make a motion to
Do all those things.
edit and have edits done by Patrick or the administration for the position of the program specialist for special education out of district. Within qualifications, we're changing paragraph 2, master's degree in education is required. We're adding to paragraph 6, which is the willingness to self-reflect and to grow professionally. We're adding to number 7, proven ability to work with all types of data related to out-of-district students. We're adding to number 8, which is the proven ability to collaborate with many stakeholders and respond to the needs of families from diverse backgrounds. We're adding a number 9, which is a strong communication skills. We're adding a number 10, which is the ability to speak multiple languages, which will be strongly preferred, and that includes sign language. Number 11 is the preference for experience with creating and implementing in-district programs for students who were previously out of district. Number 12 is proficiency in Microsoft Office, application of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Google products. 13 is possess strong organizational, time management, and project management skills. Underneath the performance responsibilities, we're making a change to paragraph 1, which is coordinate and monitor all special education delivery services for students in out-of-district placements during the school year and summer months. Paragraph 6 in the document will be changed to paragraph 3. Paragraph 7 in this document, which is after paragraph 6 and is misnumbered, will be 4. Same thing for the next paragraph, which is misnumbered 8, it will be 5. Paragraph 9 will be changed to 6, and it will be edited to have the words work with the district team to provide, in partnership with the administrators of special education, to strategize, to develop, or enhance in-district programs to meet the students' needs who are currently outplaced. Number 10 will be paragraph 6. Number 11 will be paragraph 7. Number 12 will be paragraph 8. Number 8 will be paragraph 9. Paragraph 9 will be paragraph 10. Paragraph 10 will be 11. 11 will be 12. 13 stays the same with edits to the paragraph, which would be provide supervision and direction of those in-district teachers working with the previous out-of-district specialized population, including all teachers working with autistic students, medically fragile students, and cognitively challenged students throughout the system. Paragraph 15 will change to 14, and the rest of the posting will stay the same.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Capola?
Yes.
Ms. Gately?
Yes.
Ms. Satterwhite?
Yes.
Okay. Next on the list is D. I just have a question to the attorney because we were giving the draft and it reads financial manager, but on the agenda it reads payroll supervisor. We're just questioning whether that should just be tabled and be corrected for the next personnel subcommittee meeting.
And then be voted on at the.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with,
Only because it's not how it was posted.
I agree with
And
that.
there would be some problems, I'm sure.
the superintendent would like to put it on for the next,
Yeah, that, I have no problem with that.
Are we able to discuss it like we've done for the other positions without taking a vote?
it bears no resemblance to the actual posting. I mean,
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we should not take a chance at that.
I make a motion to
Table it.
table the payroll supervision, and to schedule a meeting for the personnel subcommittee for next Thursday, immediately following the budget hearing, public hearing.
And then it be corrected for finance manager.
Correct, and there are 3 other postings in here, if these need to be addressed, that they'd be on the agenda too.
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't new postings, are they?
No,
No, I think,
they've already
I
been
think somebody
posted.
just requested them and they were just
Okay.
posted. Is that what it is, Superintendent?
I
That
did.
is correct. Oh, I thought when you said 3 others, I thought you meant the ones that I had
Oh,
already.
no.
No.
Yes,
It's going on for next
the,
week.
the 3 others that we did discuss will be put on to the next meeting as well. That's my
And
motion.
You've got samples in there. That's
Correct.
That's what the other thing.
Thank you.
is.
Okay.
Is there a second for the,
Motion to adjourn? Oh,
should we
sorry.
schedule the next meeting? I just put a motion to schedule.
Did you table
Oh.
that?
Second.
We tabled this,
Yeah.
and then I'm scheduling a subcommittee meeting for next Thursday after the public hearing.
Okay, that needs to be a separate motion. Okay. All right,
Second.
second. Okay, roll call, please, for that.
Ms. Capola,
Yes.
Ms. Gately,
Yes.
Ms. Satterwhite.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other business?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call. Yes, yes, and yes.
Capola,
Yes.
Ms. Gately,
Yes.
Mr. Satterwhite.
Yes.
It's your
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
6:58.